Today I'm thrilled to welcome back one of my most popular guests, who is back in New York performing at Cafe Carlyle with her new show, Back to Before. Please welcome Lea Salonga.
Hi.
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 Well,
Hi, everybody.
Back to Before. Like I saw you
and
sing
I'm
that
back on
song.
Broadway.com. Hello.
You're back. She's back.
She's
back
back.
everywhere. Back. I saw you sing that song in that awesome ragtime concert.
Oh my
You played
gosh,
Mother
that
in
ragtime concert. Oh my gosh.
That was
it's still, I think it's one of the highlights of my life, having done it.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
So you're singing that song in the
yeah.
new show?
Oh,
or is
yeah.
it just a total tease, like Back to Before, then you show up and you don't ever sing it?
No, I do. I actually do. It's there's a reason why I do sing it, and there's a story behind it, which I will not reveal here, because then why would you come and watch? Why wouldn't you?
You gotta get the stories in the actual venue.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's an experience.
Exactly.
It's a small, beautiful
intimate,
environment.
like singing in your living room type venue. I love that venue.
It's your third time there.
It's my third time there.
So it's becoming like your thing.
It is kind of becoming a thing. Like every year, every couple of years, must include a 3-week stint at the Cafe Carlyle. It's cool. It's really cool, and everybody's so nice over there.
Is it stressful? Do you have to like kind of come up with a new show each
Yeah.
time? Is that like a stress to be like, oh, well, I already
This
sang
year
all my
was-
favorite
well,
songs, now I
well-
have to do a bunch of new
Well,
songs?
this year's was particularly challenging because I was doing double duty with Allegiance. We were doing the
Right. You just did
Allegiance
another
lab.
workshop of it.
Yeah, the workshop. Well, we called it a lab, I guess, and I don't know why. We were experimenting with
It
so
sounds
many
very
things.
scientific. I like that.
I know, right? And so I was doing that for 3 weeks. And while I was doing that, trying to fit in a rehearsal here, a rehearsal there for the Carlisle. So it was incredibly hectic, and my director was going nuts, and because of the lack of time. But,
Yeah.
but because I do this kind of thing sort of, off the cuff, and it was actually kind of nice to have that to turn to when Allegiance was just getting a little bit too much in my head. It was nice to be able to, shift my focus onto something else for a couple of hours and then go back and just go back and forth.
The Carlisle's a classy joint.
It is a classy place.
Do you like being in all that class? Do you feel classy when you're up there in your gowns
Yeah,
and
well,
singing
it's not
to
a
those rich
gown.
people?
I'm in trousers,
Oh,
which
okay.
I love. I love wearing a pair of pants. It's comfortable, and I can sit. I don't have
But
to
you're not
worry
wearing
about
jeans,
anything.
it's the Carlisle.
No. It's the Carlisle.
They're slacks. They're nice.
It's a
nice trousers.
modified, very feminine kind of tux thing.
Okay.
Going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you enjoy that sort of? I know you've played all sorts of venues. Obviously, you played huge stadiums and
Right.
you've been,
Arenas and
you've played Broadway
halls and
now
yeah.
you're in this beautiful little living room with this little
nice.
intimate crowd. And
You don't have to vocally push as hard as when you're having to sing to the back row of a big Broadway house
Yeah.
or of an arena. This one, I do have amplification. I mean, it's always a good idea, but you don't have to work as hard, and it's like you're singing for film, I guess. It's
Right.
kind of being able to pull it
Yeah.
back and not having to work
Yeah.
so hard. It's really nice.
So what's the theme this time out? Just some tribute to some ladies I heard. Some
Well, it's a tribute to
Streisand
a tribute to Streisand and Ella. I mean, those are the two big influences on my singing. But then there's also, I sing a song for my mother. I kind of, play characters on stage that I've either never played or would love to play.
So when you're preparing these shows, obviously it's a good opportunity to sort of showcase yourself
Yeah.
in a different way. So do you like sort of consciously think like, well, how do I want people to think of me? Or what kind of things
Right.
do I want to do that I'm not doing? Do you know what I mean? Do you sort of go through that thought process a little bit when you're putting something like this together?
Because this is my third engagement
Yeah.
at Cafe Carlyle, I have to think, well, I will not be repeating myself.
Right.
And need to get away from Les Mis, need to get away from Saigon.
Sorry
because,
guys.
So
That
so
stuff's
there-
well documented.
that's well documented and well performed, and quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
Go on YouTube.
there's a
You'll
lot
find
of YouTube stuff of that. So we stay away from it. So it's stuff that I have not done there, even though I may have done them previously elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's stuff that I've never done at the Carlisle, which is good for the Carlisle. Stuff that's obviously right.
Yeah. Now, we all know you're like a Broadway super fan, like we all are. And so I'm wondering, since this is like the height of the season, have you seen, what are you sort of, have you seen things on Broadway? The Tony Awards are coming up.
I know. I've been.
You're in the dark?
I know. No, it's that I've been so busy on the workshop of Allegiance that I've not been able to see anything, except yesterday I finally got a break, and I finally got to see Annie.
Ah.
I saw Annie because I brought my daughter, and she loved it.
Yeah.
Anytime that dog went on stage, she was like, "Mommy, can I get a dog?" It's like, "Sure, honey, okay." It's something certainly that we kind of been considering, and it's something she's excited about. So she, and Lila Crawford was great. Jane Lynch was wonderful.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge Anthony Warlow fan, and when he came
he's
when he
terrific.
came on stage, I was like weeping, and I
Fangirl.
was like, "No, it's Anthony Warlow!" I was, and my husband going over and like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "It's like, honey, you don't understand." He's like, he is one of the biggest musical theater stars from Australia.
He's
and
as awesome as I
amazing.
am. You guys are both like big musical theater icons, and I love to think of you gushing over Anthony. What did you get?
Come on, Warlow was kind of a freak. He's just amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's amazing. When he sang all of those songs, I'm like just in my chair going, forget everybody else. I have to just watch this man, and hearing and knowing about his stories of having had cancer and having fought it and won, and now I'm looking at him in the flesh, and he's just, oh my God.
Could you do like
Oh my God, I was just.
So your daughter digs this Broadway thing? Does she like seeing shows?
Well, she likes seeing the show. Obviously, we let her see the shows that are appropriate for her. So I thought Annie was perfect.
Yeah.
So I may have to hit Laura Osnes and Anne Harada up for Cinderella tickets.
That was
for
the
her.
next thing I wanted to ask you. You have a history with Cinderella.
I do.
You did
I actually got to play it, and it was fun. But I think this is a new script for this production.
Yeah, very new.
So I'm really interested in seeing it.
I want you to see it too, because someone in our office, Beth Stevens, had a good idea. Last time you were here, you said you would love to play Mary Poppins, and you were fascinated, which is now gone, but you were fascinated by the flying element. I think you could maybe play the fairy god. You could take over for Vicki Clark and play the fairy godmother.
That would be fun.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be fun.
Let's start a Twitter campaign.
But my year next year is busy. just to say that right now. Hopefully it runs for years and years and years.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Eventually. That
but
can hoist you up, and you can...
But first of all, I want Allegiance to find out.
Oh, yes. Well, wait. Allegiance is another hot topic, because I got to see it at the Old Globe.
Yes.
I got to see you out there.
Oh, the workshop was even better.
The new workshop? Well, I know this is, this really shows you how long these Broadway shows take very many years.
And I mean, the first reading was
to
in
create these
2009.
babies.
It's now 2013, so this has been in development for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And I think it will need it'll probably go through another at least 6 months to 6 to 8 months before it finally.
But let me say, I saw the show at the Old Globe, so I saw the previous version of it.
Yeah, and you saw it in previews.
And I thought it was beautiful. I mean, the ending, ripped my heart out. It's so emotionally satisfying, and it's a really beautiful show, so I'm excited for it to come to Broadway.
Yeah, you get to see me and Telly Leung screaming bloody murder at one another. I mean, come on, that's worth the price of admission.
But it keeps growing, obviously.
It keeps growing, and we keep pushing things. And
are you enjoying that process?
I am, actually. I am. Because in Saigon and Les Mis, I never got to really be part of that.
Yeah,
and in Flower Drum Song, I pretty much went straight into production. I was never part of any of the creative, all of the developmental process. But with Allegiance, because I was in it from the very, very beginning, along with George and Telly, it's like we get to have a say in who these characters are. We get to have a say in how high the stakes can go. And
are you really opinionated?
I
Do you
can
have
be.
real opinions about how you think it should be going?
And well, obviously, there's not. The developers, they know where they want these characters to go.
Right.
But when I'm looking at a script or a brand new song, or we get rewrites, and if Telly and I happen to find each other online, and which is very often, he'll be like, "Sis, do you like this? How do you feel about these new lyrics? How do you feel about this? What do you think And then we would have just ourselves. We would have an active discussion, as to where we want, say, a fight or an argument on stage to go, and then we will express what our opinions are to Stafford Rima, the director, Jay Quo, and Lorenzo and Mark Aceto, and all the creative forces behind it. And the cool thing about it is that we feel like we actually have an active say, and that our instincts and our opinions matter, and what we have to say as actors do matter in how the roles are developed and how things are getting pushed, which is amazing because it makes us feel really empowered.
Yeah.
And it makes us feel, it's like, yes, we do have authority over these characters too. We're not just puppets on a string, and it's great to have a creative team that's not precious about the stuff that they've created. It's like, okay, it's not working, we throw it out.
Right.
And we threw out stuff.
Yeah.
Even in the workshop, stuff that was in the San Diego production that was really beautiful and really pretty. It's like, it's not working anymore. We don't really need it. It's not serving a purpose. We throw it out.
Am I still going to cry at the end?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that George Takei.
Oh, George. Oh,
we talked
my,
about-
George.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. We love him. We love him.
We do love him, but it's funny because I'm actually a Howard Stern fan, so I hear him in that context all the time.
Right.
Where they just like push him to be outrageous, which is
really not hard,
Okay, well, let's
because
talk
it
about
kind of
that,
is.
because he has a very sweet sort of
Very
disposition.
proper. You'd think,
there's
at
there's
76
proper,
years old.
But tell me what it's like to really.
Oh,
Tell me some good stories.
Okay, he's on the phone with his husband,
Right.
with Brad.
I've heard
Brad.
all about their sex life on Howard Stern.
Okay. I'm not privy to that, and I'd rather not be. That would just be way too much
stay
information.
removed.
I stay far removed. But he'll be talking to Brad on the phone in the hallway. I come out to grab a cup of coffee. Of course, I'm going to give George a hug, and and he's talking. Hello, I'm Lea's here, and she is making love to me. I'm like just okay.
Oh my.
Brad, no. And he likes to push the envelope.
He's dirty.
And he's like, yes, Brad gets very jealous when I tell him that I'm with you and I'm hugging you or I'm making love, and I'm like, oh my God, George. I love you, but no,
He likes to talk about
so funny.
how he was attracted when he was younger to Brad's musculature.
And there's a painting in their bedroom.
Yeah, the pictures. Yeah.
There's a painting of Brad in his glory, and I'm like, I don't know that I want to see that, but I love them both really dearly, and they're just such nice people, just great people. But
Yeah.
George will keep you in stitches with stories like that.
Right. So hopefully we'll see George Takei
Yeah.
and Telly Leung and you on Broadway maybe next year in this show.
I'm hoping.
Everybody, really, let's make this happen.
Yeah.
I don't have any money, but if I had money, I would help make this happen because it's a beautiful show.
We're on Broadway.com, so hopefully.
Yeah, people on here have money.
Yeah.
Here Lies Love. Have you seen that show
No!
yet? See, you need to. You're too busy.
I know. I'm too busy.
How often are you in New York? Are you only in New York when
I'm
you're
often
doing these?
enough. I'm here often enough, and I'm after this summer, go to Japan, then go to for a whole bunch of concerts called Four Stars with Sierra Bagus, Rimin Karimbu,
Oh, right.
and Yu Shiroda, who is a Japanese. He's gorgeous, first of all, Japanese 27-year-old musical theater actor and big old superstar,
Right.
and officially the tallest actor in Japan at 6'3", 6'4".
Wow.
Really tall.
Uh-huh.
The tallest. I think he's the tallest Japanese man I've ever
That's
met.
hilarious.
And it's funny. He's half Spanish, half Japanese. Gorgeous man. Just Google him and trust me, it's worth it. So I do concerts there, and I go back to the Philippines where I'll be serving as one of the coaches on The Voice of the Philippines.
Hot topic. It's called The Voice.
The Voice of the Philippines. I mean, it is The Voice with the microphone in the hand and the V sign. And there's 4 of us. We're all Filipino. It's Apple the App from the Black Eyed Peas.
I didn't know how to say that. So, that's who that is from the Black Eyed Peas?
Yeah, from the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh,
Apple
okay.
the App. There's him. There's me. A local pop princess. She's called the pop princess, named Sarah Geronimo.
Oh, Geronimo,
And she's a
right.
beautiful singer, incredibly beautiful singer, beautiful voice. And then there's another one who's like a rock icon named Bamboo. Really hot too, hot looking, and so everybody's it's a good looking bunch of people.
This is awesome.
And everybody,
I
and
love
we're all
this.
from different genres.
So you
of
sit.
music.
You get to sit in those red
We
chairs.
sit in the
and
iconic
you get
red
to
chairs,
spin
and we press the button and it spins. It is
How
amazing.
fun.
It
Tell
is
me about-
so much fun.
Tell me about the first time you got to like do the spin. Did you?
We
get to,
had
like,
a dry
did you-
run.
Okay.
We had to have a dry run to make sure that all the chairs work, to make sure that they look good on camera, and yeah, so just sitting in the chair and waiting to press the button for the first time was fun.
That's a lot of fun.
It was just so funny.
So, what kind of a judge are you? Because it's interesting. Once you get on a show like that, you kind of have to develop what your thing is.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
how do
pretty
you?
blunt, but I'm not nasty.
Okay.
You know, it's not Simon Cowell,
Right.
certainly, where it's like, you know, he's all
Right.
disappointed and it's you know, whatever. I try to not get too highfalutin with all the technical stuff. Or if I do have something technical to say, I have to explain it for the people on TV watching as to what intonation is, what a vibrato is,
Right.
and that kind of thing. So
Have you made anyone cry?
no.
Okay,
I think
good.
they cry when they're in the cry room, and apparently from the staff we were told, oh, she didn't cry when she was in front of you, but when she went into the cry room, she was angry at all four of you. It's like, why? We weren't nasty to her. It's like, they didn't put me through. I'm like, oh my God, are we going to have to deal with a lot of these? But the thing is, you know, there's an expectation that we would be nasty to the contestants, but
Right.
because they were all so warm and so nice, we felt an obligation to be that way back.
Do you
So
think it's
we're nice people,
Is
but
it
we're
culturally
honest.
different than like the U.S.? Are the contestants do they have the same you know, like American contestants? I don't
What,
know.
the culture of entitlement? Is that what
well,
you're?
okay,
Should
yeah,
I
let's just say it. Like, yeah, I mean, like when you watch the
Like,
American.
no, I deserve to be on this show.
Yeah, there's like.
No,
yeah.
we didn't feel that from the contestants, because a lot of them said just the experience of having sung in front of the four of you.
Oh.
That's enough for
Wow.
me, and we'll come back, we'll try again, and so that really, I was taken aback by that. That here are these people who are just happy for the opportunity to get to sing, to sing for the four of us, and to get that far. And sometimes when somebody that I felt, okay, they're not ready for this season, I would call on like somebody from the staff and like, just watch this person closely, because maybe in a few months, in about a year or
Right.
something, this person will be ready, but not for the competition. They'll be ready for one of the shows on the network. So I would periodically say, keep your eye on this person, please.
Do people with musical theater voices have a chance? Or,
There
or
were
do you
actually-
just say it's
there
a
was
different
actually,
world?
No. There were actually singers in the Philippines tend to be incredibly versatile, and they do everything. They do musical theater. They'll be
Right.
on TV singing Mariah Carey or whatever.
Right,
so
right.
you know, it's something that makes me incredibly happy as a performer from there. That there's just this, they can just do anything. So there were a few musical theater people that actually came to audition for us. And so I was like, oh my God, it's so nice to, it's so nice to see you. Yeah.
Oh, people you know.
People that I actually knew.
Did you ever like press the button and turn around and be like, oh my God, it's somebody I know?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh yeah.
That's really cool.
It is. It is
So
really
let
cool.
me ask you, if you're sitting there and you have your back to the contestant, right?
Yes.
And all of a sudden, do you think you would have turned your chair around for Anne Hathaway singing "I Dreamed a Dream"?
No.
Sorry.
I don't think so, because with all due respect to Anne Hathaway, it's a singing competition
Right,
first.
of course. It's a trick question. I was
it's-
just trying to get. I was just
Yeah.
trying to.
I mean,
that
I
was a
loved her.
segue.
I have to say that I loved her.
Oh, it's a right.
It obviously it was an Oscar-winning performance, but it was an acting piece. It was not a singing piece
Right, right.
for the film.
Right.
But you better be able to sing to do that film.
Did you? It's a segue into a quick discussion about Les Mis movies. The Les Mis movie, 'cause I know you've talked about it before. But
Yeah.
what was your overall impression of it? You
My
have a
overall
history
impression,
with the show.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. For me, there would be moments when I'd be like sucked out of the film.
Yeah.
And by that I mean taken out of the action. And I don't like being taken out of
Right.
it. I like being in it from the beginning to the end. For me, the perfection was the prologue. From the moment you see that floating flag from the underwater
Yeah.
shot, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in this.
Right.
So for me, the prologue was perfect.
Yeah.
Until pretty much the moment that he tears and then throws the paper up in the air. I'm like, all right, that was perfection. The shots, the acting, the performances, and
Yeah.
that was it. I could have stopped right there.
Right. So do
For
you want
me.
to see a Miss Saigon movie happen?
I would love to.
Yeah.
I really would love to. And I think that it would translate great
Yeah.
on film. I think that it would. But you know, I really hope that they find people that, I mean, the engineer, it's kind of an MC cabaret sort of a role. so that one, I think the acting would need to be stronger than the
Yeah.
singing, but the singing would still need, they would still have to be so closely intertwined. But for me, Kim, Chris, Ellen, you please bring those vocal cords.
Yes, please.
Please.
Bring the vocal cords, yes.
Bring your vocal cords. I'd love to be involved in some way. I don't have to be, don't put me on screen. I would love to be involved in either helping develop a Kim to help them
I think
get
that's-
her prepared
yeah.
for this.
Yeah. I
That
like
I would like to do. Because I'm going to be coaching on The Voice. I would love to do more of
Yes,
it.
I think you should be a coach on the Miss Saigon movie.
I'd love to.
Let's do that.
I would totally do it.
So here's what I want. I want Allegiance on Broadway next year. I want you to coach Kim. Maybe I kind of want you to play like a random horn in the background of the bar scene.
Oh, I'd do that too.
Okay. Can we do that? I would enjoy that.
Random whore number 3 in the back.
That'll be on your IMDb page. Random whore.
But seriously.
And then I maybe in the future want you to play the fairy godmother in Cinderella at some point. I don't know. I just think it'd be a fun idea, even just for a week.
Oh yeah.
Like if Vicky wants a week off or something.
Yeah, just call me. I live in the
She knows
neighborhood,
the
so call
music.
me.
I wanted to ask you finally. You are huge on Twitter.
I have
1,600,000
1,600,000 plus followers.
661,000 and
and
few
growing and growing. On Twitter, I was like, I had the biggest. I'm a huge Scandal fan.
I
Scandal.
noticed. I saw.
Yeah.
I am too.
I wrote a tweet about the episode titled 752, 752,
Yeah,
752.
the
Guillermo
clock.
Diaz tweeted me. Just randomly, he tweeted me and he's like,
Guillermo Diaz.
"Thank you so much. It means a lot. I've been a huge fan for a long time, and of course I melted. I melted because Guillermo
Wow.
Diaz tweeted me.
Wow, that episode was all about him.
I know, and I was like, oh my God, Guillermo Diaz tweeted me.
That's
I love
exciting.
him. I love him. I love him as Huck on that show, and oh my goodness.
But you have 1,661,000. Does that make you feel powerful? Does it blow your mind?
It does. It does. There's like 1,661,000 people watching what I say, and I guess for them, whatever I say seems to matter.
That's
It makes
crazy.
you feel really powerful. It's a great networking tool.
Have you ever thought of like starting your own country with those people? I mean, I feel like you
I
could.
could. I
You
mean,
absolutely could.
I probably could. And
I
I would be president for life. No, just joking. No, I mean it's because I am opinionated, and I'd like
Yeah.
to think that my opinions matter, and
Yeah.
and so and I am.
It's a
outspoken.
responsibility too.
It is a responsibility, but you can't
be-
just say anything.
You can't do like a drunk tweet and not think that.
No,
1
and
million.
Ricky Martin is funny also on Twitter, and I watched him in Evita, and I came backstage and said hello, and we hung out
Yeah.
because we've known each other since we were literally teenagers.
Wow.
I was 14, he was 13
Wow.
when we met, and so we were talking about Twitter, and he looked at me and said, "Do not engage. Do not engage." He said, I have been somebody's had to physically restrain me from getting into fights on Twitter, and
Not worth
so
it.
it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Do not engage, But I think he's hilarious, and he's really funny, and he's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Ever since he came out of the closet, I thought, you know what, you are so much more fun now.
You are more fun now, Ricky Martin. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
He's just he has a light that
Yeah.
glows, and
Yeah.
if there was a blackout in the city, you'd know where he was because he'd be the glowing person on the street. Just nice and lovely, and he's all that in a bag of chips, I think.
All that and a bag of chips.
All that in a bag of
Okay,
chips.
so when does The Voice premiere? The Voice
The
in the
Voice
Philippines.
in the Philippines. It premieres in June. I don't
Sometime
have an
in June.
exact.
Well, obviously, a
Date.
lot of people, your U.S. fans, aren't going to be able to see it. They're going to have to look up on
Actually, they'll find it online because I think ABS-CBN, which is the network that will be airing it in the Philippines, they also have iwanttv.com.ph. Yeah, something like that. I'll put it out on Twitter once it's closer to the time and when we know for sure what the air dates are, and they'll be able to access it after
Cool.
it airs in the Philippines, so they can get it online.
Back to Before is running through
and
what, June 8th?
until June 8th.
Until June 8th.
Yeah.
Cafe Carl, put on a fancy outfit and go watch her.
Yes, go
fancy
have
slacks.
dinner, give them a call, and make your dinner reservation. It's a lovely place to have dinner.
It is.
And the murals on the wall are just so lovely.
And I'm crossing my fingers for Allegiance.
Thank you.
I loved it. So I'm very excited to see you back on Broadway.
Me too. I would love to.
Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you. Thanks for
So
having
good
me
to see
back.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.